G'day, I'm Aaron from Adair Guitars. It's time to build a guitar for the Great Guitar Build-Off Invitational category. It's a great honour to be in the Invitational category this year, and I'm really looking forward to building a guitar for someone to win. Now the rules are a little bit different this year. Firstly, they're not kit guitars, they'll all be scratch builds. And secondly, they have to be made from at least 50% of recycled materials. And just like last year, all the Invitational guitars will be raffled off at the end to some lucky winners, and also raise money for some charities. Alright, here's some important dates that we all need to know. The 30th of November is the deadline for when all guitars need to be finished and all videos and photos uploaded. On the 1st of December, voting opens and all Invitational guitars go on the daily guitar draw to be raffled off. Voting will close on the 26th of December, and on the 29th of December there'll be a live stream on the Crimson Guitars YouTube channel where all the winners will be announced, as well as the draws for the winners of all the guitars. So for me, it's currently the 19th of August, so I've got a fair bit of work to do in that time. A few weeks ago I received some materials and supplies and a few tools from Crimson Guitars, but I think the first thing that I need to do is to work out what wood I'm going to use. So let's go out to the back shed and see what wood I've got. I'm pretty sure I've got some really suitable recycled materials to use, something that I think a lot of you have seen before. So since moving my setup into the garage, I haven't really used the shed that much. Hopefully it's not too messy. I think I'm going to have to tidy up first. So it feels really cool being back in the shed again filming. This is where my Great Guitar Build-Off journey really started, and it was actually with this Blackwood. This Blackwood used to be a sideboard and cabinet that my parents had, and when they downsized their house a few years ago, they didn't have room for it anymore. So at the time we pulled it apart to use for woodworking projects. And it was this exact material that I used for my first Great Guitar Build-Off guitar, which was the Doctor Who Guitardus. So I think it's really cool if I use this wood again, because it's going to be 100% recycled. Now as you can see, these are all kind of the leftover parts that weren't pulled apart. So we've got a range of doors that were on the base of the cabinet. We've got the doors that had glass inserts that were on the top part. There are some sections that I'd already pre-cut to use for future guitar necks, so these are almost ready to go. And as you can see as well, there are a lot larger pieces that I can really do what I want with them. And there's a few more in the back as well. So I'll insert some footage of what I did to prepare this wood for my first Great Guitar Build-Off build. I basically cut it into suitable lengths, had to use a router sled to take off all of the finish and clean it up, and glued it together as a laminated body. So as well as using it for that build, I also used the same wood for the Harmony Stratotone inspired build that I did, and that was the Blackwood neck and a similar laminated body that I used for that as well. Using the same wood, I also built a shelving insert when my parents moved into their new house. But as you can see, there's tons of wood left, so I've really got lots of projects in the future that I can use it for. But for this invitational build, since it has to be recycled material, what better wood to use? So someone will win this finished guitar, which is basically made from the same wood as my first Great Guitar build-off entry ever. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, I don't particularly want to do it exactly the same way by building a laminated body, so I think I've got to work out what timber I want to use and what other materials that I might need to buy. This might be a good starting point. So I've obviously got a piece that I can use for the neck and two pieces here that might make a good top for a body. You can see on this one here, I had already removed some of the finish just to see what it was like. I'm pretty sure that the finish on the cabinet was just an oil finish or possibly a varnish, but it's certainly not stained or coloured in any way. Now, one of the things about how this was constructed, they've obviously joined different lengths of wood, and they actually use biscuit joints to join it together. So that's just something that I had to be careful of when I've used it in the past, and will certainly need to be careful of again. If I'm going to be cutting up this wood, I obviously don't want to cut down a join and then have a biscuit sticking out the side. So I think we might take these pieces into the garage and then work out what else I might need. All right, it's awesome that I've got the black wood sorted, but I definitely think that I need something else to go along with it. If only there was a recycled timber yard around that I could get something else from. Even like a zoo for different species of wood. Let's go find out. So I'm pretty happy with the two finds that I got at the Timber Zoo. So what I have got is a couple of lengths of this Northern Silky Oak, as well as the Queensland Silver Ash there as well. So hopefully between these three woods, I'll be able to get a really good combination for the neck, the body, and possibly a top for the guitar as well. And obviously what I don't use on this build for the Silky Oak or the Silver Ash, I'll be able to use for other guitar builds. So as I said earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I got a delivery from Crimson Guitars for a lot of the components and tools and things that I can use in the build. So let's have a look at some of those things now and what I'll be able to use. Well, I think this is going to do quite nicely to build a guitar, but I think it might be time for a coffee break first and plan out what I'm going to do. So in terms of materials for the build from Crimson Guitars, they've sent an ebony fretboard that has already been pre-slotted, as well as the truss rod. Now certainly the ebony fretboard will go really well with these woods that I've got here, I think. But one option that I could do is actually swap it out. And two other fretboards that I've got. One is this black bean. So this is the same timber that I'm using on a current build, so an Australian timber. And also I think this is mulga. So this is quite a hard wood. So when I work out the combination of woods, I might kind of consider these as well. The ebony fretboard would work great, but if I use one of these, it kind of matches. It basically would be using all Australian woods for this guitar, which is something that I've been sort of trying to do a lot more of recently. So as well as all this fine wood to use, I've also got some leftover top from the Middle Earth guitar from last year. And I think it'd be a pretty nice idea to maybe incorporate that into the build somewhere as well. So basically by using the recycled blackwood and also this top, I'll be incorporating the actual timbers that I used from those two guitars into this year's build. So the question now, I suppose, is what type of guitar am I going to build? Well, I still haven't finalised it, but it's likely to be a variation of the Middle Earth guitar and the two guitars that I'm currently working on, which are nearly done. It's a design that I've been really happy with, and certainly from feedback on Instagram and YouTube and also through the competition, a lot of people have obviously liked it as well. However, it's likely that the owner is going to be someone who is watching this video right now. So tell me in the comments, what would you like? If there's a particular combination of these woods that you think would work well, let me know. I've got all of the Crimson Stunning Stains, and that might work really well on the Northern Silky Oak, or even the Queensland Silver Ash. And although I've built guitars for other people before, this is the first time I'm building a guitar for someone that I don't know. So it'd be cool to hear what people think they would like to see in it. So with other projects that I've got going on at the moment, I'll have about 3 months for this build, and I'm probably not going to have time to do a full build series. So it's likely after this video, there'll just be one full build video at the end of the competition. However, I will try to post a lot of progress videos and photos on Instagram. Now the last thing I need to mention is that the pickups and the components that are needed for all of the Invitational guitars, this year they're being supplied by Allegory Music in the UK. So once I've finalised the design of the guitar and worked out what components I need, I'll let them know and get those sorted out as well. So make sure you follow along with the Great Guitar Build Off, especially in all the other categories as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Time to get started, I suppose.